The Amex Platinum and the Chase Sapphire Reserve have been in a fierce competition for the title of Best Travel Card ever since the release of the Chase Sapphire Reserve back in 2016. However, as of November 2021, a new competitor has tossed their hat into the proverbial ring. The Capital One Venture X. Now, this is Capital One's first real entry into this whole premium travel credit card, and must I say, what a magnificent rookie debut. It really stole the show upon its release. It got a lot of press, a lot of people talking about it, and I think it's a card that every traveler should be comfortable owning. Now, in this video, I'm going to be talking about exactly why I think that. But before we do that, let's get into some basic information about the card. So, basic information, the sign-up bonus is 75,000 Capital One points for spending $4,000 in the first 3 months. This is a very typical sign-on bonus. In fact, in the beginning, it had a sign-up bonus of 100,000 points after spending $10,000 in the first 3 months. Now, for some people, $10,000 in 3 months might be a lot, but who knows? But I think the current sign-up bonus is a little bit better deal, especially if you can't spend $10,000 in 3 months. If you think about the Capital One points as 1 cent per point, that's going to be about an 18% return on spend with the 75,000 Capital One points versus the 10% return on spend with the 100,000 Capital One points. Now, I'd say these Capital One points are pretty much equivalent to Chase Ultimate Reward points. You can transfer them to travel partners, and a lot of the travel partners in both of these ecosystems are pretty similar. So you're going to get pretty similar results from transferring points. Now let's talk about the annual fee, which is $395. One of the primary benefits you get from this card is a $300 annual travel credit through the Capital One travel portal. Now, I will say usually when we think of booking through travel portal, it's usually not that worth it. I know the Amex travel portal isn't really the best. The Chase portal is okay. I sometimes book through there. I sometimes get a little bit cheaper rates, but usually that's not the case. Usually you'd rather book with the airline hotel directly. I've seen horror cases of people booking the Chase portal and the airline not getting the booking at all. So you kind of want to avoid things like that. However, with Capital One, they partnered with Hopper as part of the travel portal. And if you don't know what Hopper is, it's kind of a tool that will help you break down the prices and give you price predictions on maybe when a flight price will go up or go down. It has a lot of pretty good benefits included. This includes price drop protection, price matching, and price drop alerts. All in all, I think it's a very smart and intelligent travel portal that will get you the best rates possible. Additionally, you get 10x miles on any hotels or rental cars booked through the Capital One portal and 5x on flights booked through the Capital One portal. And finally, you get 2x miles on all purchases. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, additionally, you get 2 guests into Capital One lounges. Now, the Capital One lounges are very scarce. There's only one in Dallas-Fort Worth right now. It is very nice and spacious. If you ever have a layover or go to Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, I would consider checking that out if you have the card. There's plans to open some in Denver, DC, and I'm sure many more to come. Additionally, you get Priority Pass and Plaza Premium Lounge access, as well as the classic $100 Global Entry or TSA PreCheck credit. One thing to note though is that you don't get purchase protection on the card. However, you do have primary car rental insurance, trip delay, cancellation, interruption service, return protection, extended warranty, and cell phone protection. All the good stuff. All right, that was a lot of benefits. I know it sounded like a lot, but let's take a moment to digest these and figure out why this makes the card so good. I'm sure you can already kind of guess why. But before we do that, it's been a while since I've uploaded a video. I'm going to get back to making videos in 2023. So if you're enjoying the content or found any of my previous videos to be helpful, please consider liking and subscribing as it really helps the channel. Thank you. All right, let's get into why this card is good. So let's talk baseline fee and value. Let's take the first year, for example. The first year you get a $300 annual travel credit, which is effectively $300. So it's an effective annual fee of $95 in the first year. But with the sign-up bonus, that's 75,000 points, at minimum $750. So if you're going to do that $4,000 and spend anyway for the sign-up bonus, that's just free points. So if we do the math, that's a lot of value in the first year. Now let's think about year 2 onwards. So starting year 2, you're going to get the 10,000 miles for your account anniversary, right? That's valued at around $100 minimum. And combine that with the $300 annual travel credit, subtracting that from the annual fee of $395, you're actually getting paid essentially $5 to have the card. Not to mention the other benefits you get from the card as well. Now, I know getting paid $5 technically doesn't sound like that much, but for any premium travel card with this many benefits, as well as the fact that if you get even a little bit above 1 cent per point for any of these travel redemptions, that gets you even more into the green. Now let's talk about the earning, right? So like I said before, the earnings on this are 10x on hotels and car rentals and 5x miles on flights. That's pretty comparable to the other premium travel cards. But the thing I want to emphasize here is the 2x miles on other purchases. Usually these premium travel cards only have 1x, 1x for the Amex Platinum, 1x for the Chase Sapphire Reserve on everyday purchases. You need something like the Chase Freedom Unlimited, the Citi Double Cash, to even get 1.5, 2x on every purchase. So that's why the 2x miles is ridiculous for a travel card. You can basically just be your everyday spend. So now all you really need to do is pair this card with cards that catch other major categories, right? So restaurants, groceries, still the Amex Gold, other rotating categories, you can still have those, right? But you can use this card as your main driver, which I think is perfect, right? It's a kind of one size fits all type thing. If you don't want to think about the other categories, 2x miles is pretty good on every single purchase. And beyond that, the other benefits, it's hard to put exact value on getting Capital One lounge access and priority pass. If you have another card that already gives you priority pass, maybe you devalue that a little bit. I'm sure that Capital One is going to invest more in its lounges, open up more and more. So, hopefully the benefit will be even better in the future. Amex, of course, is currently the king of, network lounges in terms of their Centurion lounges, but I'm sure with Capital One's foray into the premium travel card, as well as the Sapphire lounges potentially opening up soon, I think Capital One will give Amex a run for their money. It's already invested in a premium travel card, why not make it even better? So I've already alluded to this in terms of the competition. The main competition here would be the Amex Plat and the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I think the Amex Plat with a $695 annual fee gets a little bit tedious to use at times. There are certain credits that you have to use, certain credits that people don't really use. I think for the everyday person, the Capital One Venture X is a no-brainer, and you don't really have to do too much research into other cards as well. Again, same thing with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. The Chase Sapphire Reserve also has a $300 annual travel credit. Because it has a $550 annual fee and not any direct monetary value, it's really hard to justify having the Chase Sapphire Reserve unless you already have a lot of Chase cards, Chase points, or do a lot of stays at World of Hyatt. Overall, I think for anyone looking to get into the premium travel space, perhaps you watched some of my videos and gotten some of the no annual fee cards, and you want to dip your toes into this premium travel space, I think this was one of the best values you're going to get for your money right now. See, at the minimum, at least if you're using it correctly, you're getting paid $5 to own the card. And it's probably going to be a lot more in year one. And if you can redeem your points at a good rate, it's going to be even more than that in year two. I think one of my main points as to why I wanted this card was because it really differentiates from the premium travel cards in the fact that it's a daily driver. Usually with these cards, you need some other cards to cover any other category spend. Usually with these cards, you need some, catch-all card to cover non-category spend, but this just does that for you. So yeah, this is why I recommend, really anyone to have this card, so long as you do $300 worth of travel every year. And if you enjoyed the video and learned a little something from it, please consider dropping a like and subscribing, as it really helps to support the channel. And drop a comment if you already have this card and you really like it, or have any questions about any of the things I've talked about in regards to this card. Additionally, if you're thinking about applying for the card, please consider using the referral link that I have down below. I've talked about my struggles before getting this card. It still will help the channel, and the referral offer should be same as the public offer. There's no incognito shenanigans with Capital One as far as I know. So thank you for taking the time to watch, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.